Hello turners, welcome to my workshop. This week, I'm making a few short videos. Here I have my small skew chisel, with a bevel angle of about 40 degrees. When I try to make fine details, it's simply too thick. All my gouges and all my skews are now ground at 25 degrees, just like a wood chisel. So today's video is about doing exactly that, taking this small skew and bringing it down to 25 degrees. Not long ago, someone on my channel asked me if sharpening always had to be done with jigs. The answer is no, not at all. So today, we'll do a short review of sharpening high-speed steel tools, and I'll show you my personal setup. First question, why don't I sharpen on a bench grinder? My grinder is a low-speed grinder, around 1700 RPM. For me, that's not fast enough. What I'm about to do is my personal choice. If you don't feel safe doing this, don't do it. I take my own precautions. It's not the first time I've done this, and I'm confident. Here I have a 420 grit grinding wheel, pressed against my chuck. My tailstock allows me to lock the wheel firmly in place. It's well seated and secure. I have a lot of material to remove, but on the heel of the tool, not on the cutting edge. So I rotate the wheel clockwise, so I'm not fighting against it. I work in timed passes, about 10 seconds on one side, 10 seconds on the other, removing material evenly while keeping a clear cutting edge in the center. I don't want to offset or misalign the cutting edge. I don't want it to end up diagonal. That's something that's happened to me before. Some people mention protecting the lathe bed. That's true. I position myself carefully and use my tool rest as protection. I put on my face shield and work very close to the wheel. From time to time, I cool the tool in water. High-speed steel can handle heat, so this is not critical. That brings up an important question. Is it dangerous if a turning tool changes color? The answer is no, not really. Turning tools are made of high-speed steel, and they are designed to withstand heat. Carbon steel tools, like most woodworking chisels, are different. If you see a dark blue line, the tool has lost its temper and won't hold an edge for very long. That's why, in turning, we don't worry too much about color changes. To reach 25 degrees, I remove material from the heel, not the cutting edge. I take my time and check frequently. Once I'm close, I move to my CBN wheels. I use a small reference jig to quickly set my platform angle. To get that angle right, I used a factory wood chisel, which is ground at 25 degrees. I colored the bevel with a marker, adjusted the platform until it contacted evenly, and traced that profile onto a piece of wood. That became my 25-degree reference. For this kind of jig, thickness helps. It gives a more solid support. I sharpen freehand, starting at the top of the bevel and moving downward. This creates a convex bevel. A convex bevel is very forgiving, especially if you're not very experienced with a skew. It grabs less and forgives more. I used this profile for many years. Recently, I decided to go back to a more traditional sharpening, with a concave bevel. That's what I create next on the 180 grit wheel.
Il y a encore du travail.
Years ago, I bought this one-way jig. It's a purchase I once regretted, but today I decided to explore it again. This jig allows both sides of the skew to be sharpened identically. I mark the bevel with a marker and adjust slowly until I'm almost at the cutting edge. At this stage, precision matters. I start the grinder and gently oscillate, keeping both the heel and the edge on the wheel. This creates a clean concave bevel. I check the other side and make sure both bevels have the same width. I'm now right at the edge, within a fraction of a millimeter. Now I'm ready for the next step. There's still a burr on the edge. That's normal. To remove it, I use a 1200 grit diamond stone. Light pressure, by eye, just enough to clean the edge. This could also be done with leather, with or without compound.
Et là, c'est fin.
The coarse wheel leaves deep scratches. The finer will leave smaller ones. Those scratches can transfer to the wood. To remove them, I polish on a cotton wheel with compound. The goal is simply to polish the bevel and remove those marks. After polishing, the surface becomes almost mirror-like. This long process is only done when reshaping a tool. Once the geometry is correct, sharpening becomes quick and frequent. I simply touch each of my diamond plates 5 to 10 times, freehand, and I'm ready to turn again. The secret is sharpening more often, for less time. I test the tool on a very dry piece of exotic wood.
Je ne sais pas si vous voyez le reflet, c'est Il y a des reflets.
There's almost no sanding required.
C'est brillant.
For me, that's sharp
Par la
enough.
vérité,
It meets my standards.
presque pas de ponçage à faire. Alors voilà, tourneur.
So there you go, turners.
En quelques demi-heures,
In about half an
préparé
hour,
mes ailes,
in real time,
j'ai affûté devant vous,
I sharpened and
j'ai
adjusted the
ajusté
skew
un
in
peu
front of you.
ma plane et,
I
c'est
encourage
un
you to
succès.
experiment and try
Je vous
things.
encourage à
You'll make
expérimenter,
mistakes,
à
but you'll
essayer.
learn a
On
lot.
fait de beaux apprentissages
And when you
là-dedans.
know what
C'est
to
vrai
do
qu'on
and
fait
how
des
to do
erreurs
it,
aussi. Mais,
the results are
c'est
extremely
très,
satisfying.
formateur. Merci d'avoir
Thanks for
visionné
watching.
jusqu'ici. Si en quelque
And
point
I'll
ça
see
vous
you
est utile,
again
laissez-moi
very
un
soon.
signe. Et au plaisir de se revoir très bientôt.